Welcome to Pic Six podcast, a movie podcast where Jeff and I pick movies for each other to watch. And either they watch in entertainment and misery or somewhere in between. My name is the Boat Brad Gilmore, joined as always by the General Jeff Smith. Jeff, how art thou?
What's the first person version of thou?
Thou?
I can't even talk. The third
I think it's
person.
thou.
I don't know. Yeah. But if I
Thou
was
is
referring to
thou.
myself, that was thou. I'm doing well. I just stuttered over my intro, but it's only uphill from here. It's been a while since we've recorded, so I'm a little off my game.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, the last podcast we did was Life, which was a Brad pick. A great Brad pick, by the way.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the Brad pick, and then we went back to the 80s for Lucas. So it's been a little bit.
One word title with an L, but we're going back to Lucas. Yes.
One word title with an L. And I'm just like, when I think about our podcasts that we've selected, so far, we do, it is probably to no shock of everybody. We do enjoy going back and visiting the 1980s. And I wanted to start here because I was listening to a man who recently has had a lot of opinions, and he's always been an opinionated guy, but that is the one and only Quentin Tarantino. And Tarantino was talking, I think it was either on Howard Stern or Joe Rogan. I don't remember where I saw the clip, but he was talking to one of those two guys. And he talked about how the movies in the 1980s were awful, right? This was his stance because they were over commercialized, and it wasn't the riskiness of the 1970s. He said the 70s were raw and authentic, and the 80s were like overly polished and what have you. But then when I think about the movies that we like, we hover in the 80s and 90s, right? We had Better Off Dead, with Collision Course, Heathers, all took place in the 80s. Obviously, we spent a lot of time on Clue, which was 85. And then, of course, Back to the Future, which I love, is 85 as well. Fletch is 85. So we spent a lot of time in the 1980s. Do you agree with this sentiment from Mr. Tarantino?
Yeah, I think the 80s movies all suck. I hate them all. They're all pieces of garbage. It could be when he was born. He is older than both of us. I'm sure nostalgia has a lot to do with it. 80s was, the Spielberg decade. So if you just look at the movies that were popular, if you look at E.T., if you look at even Lost Boys with the Coreys or Back to the Future, they do have more of a PG. The bigger movies were PG-13. The R's weren't as R as they were in the 70s. But I think as far as decades go, it's a personal taste, really. I don't really care when the movie is made.
Yeah.
Although I think there are some movies that you do take into consideration when they were made. And sometimes for me, like I'm a big fan of Creature from the Black Lagoon from the 50s. And I put a lot of this was made in the 50s when I watch it, because there is a cheesiness to it that if they made the exact same movie today, you'd go, oh, no. That's not right. But I don't know. I think that's what he was going. I've read his book, where he talks about growing up in the movies, and most of his favorite movies are from the 70s. And that
Cinema speculation.
And sure.
I mean, look, yes. Were the R-rated movies different from the 80s and the 70s? Absolutely. Because, in the 80s, you had Fast Times at Ridgemont High, would be like an R rating, right? And then in the 70s, you had Caligula.
Like not even R-rated, yeah.
A little bit different, edgy movies in those decades. And but you know what? So we're here to talk about Lucas, and this movie I had not heard of, and I'm surprised that I had not heard of it because I know Corey Haim, excuse me. The Coreys sometimes are interchangeable. They did a lot together. I know Corey Haim, Charlie Sheen, of course. I mean, the cast, when you look at Winona Ryder and Courtney Thorne-Smith, and I mean, there's so many people that you recognize off the top just from the credits. Jeremy Piven is in the movie. Yeah. So many people who I just recognized immediately, and I don't know how this one didn't land on my radar, but I could see how it's one of those movies that if you were a child of the 80s, you especially coming of age in the 80s, this was a movie that probably resonated with a whole lot of people. But then it just for whatever reason time wasn't kind to it, and it kind of faltered to the wayside. It was just one of those movies that came out in '86, and I don't know if it had much of a legacy thereafter. But I mean, it does for other reasons, but not so much for the film itself. But I found this film to be lovely. It was a lovely little movie.
Okay. I think the biggest legacy that it's probably gained, and people that watch the movie don't realize that's what they're spoofing, is Not Another Teen Movie. Not Another Teen Movie does, of course, Breakfast Club, and it does more of the movies from the 90s as well. But they do have a football playing character that's small and gets severely injured. And then, of course, the whole ending of Not Another Teen Movie plays homage to the slow clap, which started in Lucas, probably maybe the best good legacy of Lucas, other than bringing us the lovely Winona Ryder, who is now, this is my second Winona Ryder movie. There must be a reason.
Well, yes, I'm sure that there was. I was a big fan of Winona Ryder and Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds.
I don't know if you liked Mr. Deeds. I don't know really where you sit on the Sandman, but I liked Mr. Deeds a lot. It got a lot of run in my house. And Winona Ryder, she was blonde in the movie for a little bit, like kind of like highlights. And I'm a big fan.
Blonde is her actual hair color.
Is it really?
Yeah. So when we see her in Edward Scissorhands blonde, that's Winona Ryder. She dyed it black. Just like Elvis. Just like Elvis Presley.
Elvis dyed his hair black.
Yeah,
you think I would have beat him in a fight?
You think I could beat Elvis? He's dead, sir.
Mr. President, as in respect to you, Elvis would have let you win, which is the best way of saying no. You would have kicked your ass. So okay, I don't know, where do we begin? Okay, let me ask you this: why did you choose Lucas?
You actually nailed it very well, because I did grow up with this movie, and I did appreciate this movie because it is very different than the John Hughes movies, which is also why I appreciated Better Off Dead, but this is for a completely different reason. This, to me, feels way more like what my high school experience was like, because there's no sex, there's no drugs, there's not even rock and roll. I had a little bit of rock and roll, but not that much. I had going to the movies. They go to see The Fly, the original The Fly in this. I was in the marching band in high school.
What did you play?
I played the trumpet. Not well, but I did. So I related to that part of it. And really before that, I didn't even see a marching band shown in a high school movie, other than maybe in the background at the football game. But I did never see characters that actually were in it. And I also liked that it was sad. I think it's a very sad movie. And I knew people at my school that reminded me a lot of Lucas. So I'm very torn. I don't know if I like Lucas as a character. I think I watched it again recently, and I hadn't seen it in several years. And I don't think I like him, but I like, we'll get to it. But I think with the original way the movie was supposed to end, I prefer that, because as much as I love the slow clap, I like that Lucas was kind of a jerk, and he had to learn his lessons the hard way. But it feels like when he's in that hospital at the end, after he gets pummeled because he decided to play football and he's 4'9", because he thought he could, because he could do anything, and then he found out the hard way he can't. It seemed like he was starting to learn, and then he gets rewarded for being stupid, and I'm not a fan of that. But that's why I liked it as much. I love the John Hughes movies, of course, and I love those high school movies, but I never went to a party like any of the parties that are in the John Hughes movies. I never drank alcohol or took drugs when I was in high school. So I relate more to the Lucas high school.
Well,
the unnamed high school.
There were some things like definitely with the character that I was like, oh, okay, I don't know if I'm all the way on board with Lucas as you felt. But then there were sometimes where like you just felt for him, because like, who hasn't been the kid? Like, look, like, let's be honest. Were you ever in school And it was like during gym class, or yes, you were at some time, but during gym class, and you saw maybe a contemporary of yours dunk the basketball, right? And you're like, oh, that looked sick, right? And then you look over and like it's in the middle of gym class, and all the girls are like kiki haha and pointing like, oh my god, did you see whomever just dunked the ball? And then you just in your head you talk yourself up, and you're like, I bet you I could dunk the basketball. How hard could it be? I could dunk the basketball. I could climb the rope. I could do 20 pull-ups in a row without breaking a sweat. You know, I can hit the homer over the center field fence. We all have that fantasy of being the ultimate athlete because at that moment and juncture in time in our lives, the ultimate athlete is the one who gets all the rewards, right? They get the attention and the trophies and the recognition and this, that, and the head cheerleader, the Courtney Thorne Smiths of the world, right? That's who you get. So I actually related to the football scene so much because I actually did try to dunk a basketball and found out that the Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson movie was aptly named that white men can't jump. It was very difficult, very difficult. I was very impressed. The young man's name was Jamarcus, who actually was able to dunk the basketball. And Jamarcus was he was a freshman and he was on the varsity team. Right? That tells you how great.
That's pretty good, Jamarcus.
Jamarcus was the man. And then one time,
Jamarcus now?
I don't know where Jamarcus is now because Jamarcus, this is a true story. Jamarcus changed high schools and he went somewhere else. I think he went to our rival school, right? And I remember seeing him at a homecoming football game. He was playing on the field, and you know what I was? I was the mascot.
Hey, what was the mascot of your high school?
So the mascot of my high school is no longer appropriate, but thankfully we were the Maribou B. Lamar High School Redskins, and we are no longer that. We're now the Texans. But I was not dressed inappropriately. I was dressed up like as a Westerner, like a cowboy.
Okay,
you know, like cowboy and Indian kind of thing.
Okay.
Right. That was like the gimmick.
At your era in high school, we are getting closer to figuring out what was
We're almost there.
My era, there would have been full on.
Yeah.
Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, it would have been a lot of bad stuff. Yeah. You know, we were right there to where we almost did it. But like that was still when down the street from my high school, there was another school called Robert E. Lee High School.
Okay.
Like that was still a thing up until maybe 6, 7 years.
Yeah. Hey, he could come back.
You never know. We've
got 3 more years. Who knows? Okay.
But my point was,
I
dunked the basketball. Like I couldn't do it, but I related to, you know what? I feel like I got to do this to prove it to myself and all that thing.
If that's what the girls want, fine.
Yeah. Hey, man, look, you do anything.
No, absolutely. I get that. See, my version of that was not only wishing I could dunk it, but hating the guy that could and not understanding why all the cute girls were into that nonsense. When look at me, I could quote Breakfast Club from beginning to end. Isn't that appealing, ladies?
And you know what?
You want to hear weird science?
All the parts? You want to know
parts?
What character you want, huh?
Yeah.
What character do you
Chet.
want? I can be Chet. Okay, you want Chet? I'll give you Chet. Yeah. Name the scene.
Sure.
You know, it's funny too. I need to correct the record because you just jogged my memory. Jamarcus, that was in middle school. We were at Lanier and he went to Pershing. They were the Pershing Pandas, and we are the Sidney Lanier Middle School Purple Pups. So I was actually in a dog costume.
Purple Pups.
Oh yeah, what a terrorizing mascot, right?
Frightening.
Like
not even a full, bulldogs.
The bulldog. Yeah.
Eventually a bulldog. But right now it's his baby.
But we were the Purple Pups versus the Pershing Pandas. It's not really intimidating. I don't know why purple.
Just for alliteration?
I don't know. That was the school color. Was purple.
Yeah, but that's a given.
We were
the pups by itself, it seemed.
The pups was bad enough. The Lanier Pups, and then we were and I think that school changed its name too. I guess Sidney Lanier was something
out of shame.
No. They're still the Purple Pups, but they went from Sidney Lanier to Bob Lanier. Go figure.
Transition?
No. Sydney was like a poet, but I
Oh,
think that I think
what
he was
did
in the
he do?
Confederacy. I think he
Yeah,
was
I
in
was
the
gonna
Confederacy
say
or something.
he did something.
It was something. I don't really know, to be
They
honest
don't
with you.
just change names.
But it was a smooth transition to Sydney to Bob, right? So they're still Lanier Middle School. Shout out to Lanier Middle School.
We'll talk to
Um,
Bob.
yeah. But anyway, back to Lucas. From
Yeah.
Lanier to Lucas. I just wanted to correct the record instead of somebody who's like, Brad wasn't. That
You
wasn't
weren't the
right.
cowboy then when
I was the
Marcus
pup.
was there.
I was the pup. I was the pup.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
now
Proud pup.
let's do now. Okay, with this movie,
Yes.
86.
I like it when you get serious because you get close to the microphone.
Do we want to? I don't think we jump into the categories just yet.
With this
Should
movie.
we talk? Should we talk about some of the just to get it out of the way?
Sure. I think if anyone's heard of this movie and doesn't know the movie, it is because the Feld dog, who I have gone through many deep dives on accident and rabbit holes on YouTube watching Corey Feldman, who is not in Lucas, but apparently it's one of the many movies that he claims that he was up for and almost got. But he also says that he was going to play the Leonardo DiCaprio role in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. So
Yeah.
we take it all with a grain of salt. He was going to be in Titanic. He was going to be in E.T. He was going to be in Encino Man.
Ah, well, he was in quite a bit.
Yeah, he's been in not big movies more than anybody else, according to him. And I don't know, have you seen the documentary that just came out? The Corey Feldman versus the World?
No.
Good stuff. Anyway.
I've interviewed Corey Feldman.
Oh, yeah? Corey Feldman.
Something.
Did he
I think I interviewed him for like a Goonies anniversary.
Himself?
Yeah. And he like stayed up all night.
Did you see? So he was an executive producer, I think, on a like Lifetime movie called The Two Coreys, where actors played Haim and Feldman. And in that movie, all the allegations that he has made that people were inappropriate, will just be, you know what it all means, to Haim. But nothing ever happened to Feldman. In fact, there's a scene where young Corey Feldman goes to regular school after filming The Lost Boys, and he goes into the men's room at his school, and these three bullies come in. They're like, "Hey, vampire boy," and they're like making fun of him for being in Lost Boys. And Corey Feldman beats up all three of these kids. So we've got a reliable narrator and storyteller in Corey Feldman. Now, he says that on the set of Lucas, Charlie Sheen was the one that was inappropriate with Corey Haim. I hope it's not true.
Yeah.
But that's what people tend to know about Lucas. So we'll just, it's the thing.
It's safe to say that, and that guy almost goes without saying, but Charlie Sheen has denied the entire story in its totality.
And Charlie Sheen has admitted to a lot of stuff,
especially recently.
Yeah,
his documentary and his book. He admitted to quite a bit.
I mean, this would be pretty bad because I think Haim was 13 or something like that time. So it would be really up there. But I don't know.
I don't know how. And to be honest with you, like this is one of the stories, and this is not like us trying to step around it, but like I do not know much about it intimately other than the allegation and the denial.
Right.
And I haven't really looked into if there's been any evidence, if there was any investigation. I don't think that there was. I don't think there has been, but I don't know that. So it's better if two people who aren't really informed on an issue, we just don't really talk about it. Because we don't know much more than what we have shared with you.
I would rather talk about how I think Charlie Sheen is totally miscast in this movie and shouldn't even be playing the part of Cappy anyway.
Okay. Well, okay. Look, okay. Should we get into categories and then we can talk about that? Or do we? Okay, let's jump into categories. Why don't you kick us off? Since this is your movie, you guide the ship.
All right. So our first category is the scene stealer. And it's weird that I'm going to say the lead actor is the scene stealer, but I really think Corey Haim is freaking fantastic in this. So much so that for me, I didn't see this. I saw, I think, License to Drive and Lost Boys before this. And maybe I did see Lucas, but the Clark Kent disguise worked for me because I did not put two and two together that was the two Coreys, Corey Haim. I just thought it was some kid. So as weird as that seems, I didn't make the connection because his performance was so different. He wasn't trying to be cool or cocky, or it was a little cocky, but he wasn't. It was just a totally different performance. So kudos to Haim. I didn't know it was him. I saw Lucas.
I will tell you this: in the opening, look, I didn't know anything about the movie. I knew that Corey Haim was in it. Didn't know what part he played. Didn't know if he was Lucas. Didn't know if he was a side character. I didn't know anything. So in the opening scene of the film, where you get the close up of the cricket, and we see Lucas, going through the weeds and trying to capture the crickets and whatever that fascination that he has with bugs is, or crickets specifically. I still didn't know that was Corey Haim. It took me a second into the movie to go, oh, okay, yeah.
There he is.
That's Corey Haim. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. So sometimes kids, the glasses do work as a great distraction. You know what else I loved about him though is the fact, and I ended up looking this up afterward, but the fact that his clothing always seemed very ill-fitting.
Yeah,
like he was either oversized or undersized a little bit. And I was like, that had to be a very specific choice. And it turns out that it was from the casting or from the costume designer. They wanted him to look, I guess, out of place.
Yeah, I believe that because when I mentioned that Lucas kind of reminds me of kids that I went to school with, they were the outcasty kind of kids that also their clothes were either dirty or they were hand-me-downs from older, or they were, poor or whatever. So their clothes were always, there was something off about them all the time. And I think that really helps capture. I mean, he's got that weird bucket hat that he wears when he's out there collecting his bugs. His one pair of glasses, I'm assuming.
I promise you, if we were to plug in to ChatGPT, show me a nerdy bug collector teenager, it would literally generate that image.
Right. But going again that, mentioning that it's different than the other movies in the 80s, he was a very different kind of nerd character. He wasn't like the ones that are in 60 Candles or Weird Science, or even like the nerds that pop up on Saved by the Bell, where they're like, Skolnick and Lambda. He was just he was a weird kid and much more realistic to the kind of nerds that the quote unquote nerds that I went to school with, where they just were odd, or they could be inappropriately confident, or thinking that they were hot stuff, or friends with everybody, or liars. And Lucas is all this.
Yeah. No, yeah. He was not, he was not the prototypical 1980s nerd by any stretch. Who was it who we just lost? Who was in Revenge of the Nerds?
Oh, Robert Carradine.
Yeah. Shout out to Robert Carradine. I knew him as the dad on Lizzie McGuire first, which, by the way, Hilary Duff, aging well. She looks great. Are you a Hilary Duff fan?
I'm going to say no, only because I'm too old to be, and I have a problem with actresses when I've seen them grow up.
Not if you grew up with them, though.
No, that's totally different.
Winona Ryder, yeah.
That's totally different, yeah. We all age together, and Winona Ryder is older than me, technically. So, but like when people...
What's the technicality on that? I don't understand.
Technically, I don't know. It's technical. I don't know. She shouldn't be. She doesn't look older than me. That's what I mean. I feel like I'm older than Winona Ryder.
Okay, I got you.
Just by chronological. But like when people say, Millie Bobby Brown, I go, no.
Yeah.
That's I know her too little. Even Christina Ricci, which is closer to my age, she was so young when she came up that's just...
Yeah. It's
not
weird.
For me. Hermione. No, can't do it.
Yeah, there's a couple of them I can't get on board with, but Hermione, I think we grew up together. Together.
See, I saw Alyssa Milano be very young, and nothing wrong with that.
She's gorgeous.
Now, but I also liked her then. But I was that age too.
Okay. Thanks for clearing it up.
Thanks
for clearing it up. All right, he's my
too. It's kind of on. Corey Feldman would have a field day with this. So
Jeff's going to be at the Chuckle Hut this weekend, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me tell you, what is
his new hour? His new special is called the Epstein Hour. Go ahead.
I have nothing to say about that. So anyway, Scene stealer, Corey Haim.
Yeah, no, Corey's he's really good. And you know what? After this movie, tell me if there's a hot take. After watching this movie, I think this is Corey Haim's best performance.
Well, Roger Ebert, who loved this movie, if you look at the review of Lucas, he thought it was one of the 10 best movies of '86. And he made a comment that he really liked Corey Haim and said something to the effect of he wasn't like an annoying kid, and he's going to be one of these actors that when he grows up, he's not going to fall into those former child actor tropes, which is very sad to hear now because we all know he passed away at 38, I think. And didn't go well.
Yeah. He Corey Haim, he passed away in what, the mid 2000s?
2010.
So early 2010s. I remember on A&E there was a show I think called The Two Coreys.
Oh, the reality show, yeah.
And they did a reality show of the both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey Haim looked rough then. He
did. Rough. That was a weird show because the first season seemed like it was just an improv. It was kind of cheesy, funny. If you look at, they're probably on YouTube. Season 1 of The Two Coreys it's like silly, like, oh, look, we're old and we're doing this. And Corey Feldman's now ex-wife, but wife at the time hates him. And then the second season was when they got they decided to be all gritty and have moments where they yell at each other and confront each other, and it's very sad.
Yeah, for sure. That show, that was when they were still trying to figure out reality TV a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It was like it wasn't the Osbournes, that's for sure. Osbournes, they were kind of weird, but they were like the Addams Family. They was just kind of funny, weird. But this around the time I actually went to a horror convention in California around right before, and Corey Haim was there at a table doing a signing, and he was all by himself in this dealer room. Nobody was going up to him. And I saw him from a distance, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Corey Haim. I should go up to him. I feel bad that he's by himself, but he did not look great. So I did not.
Oh, man.
Feel bad, but he was like, even just in the room, he was kind of like, he was by himself, slunched over, leaning on the table. It's a rough day. And it was not that long. It's like a Fangoria convention. So I'm going to say whatever that was right before March 10th, 2010.
Tough. We'll have more on Corey Haim, obviously, through the podcast. But Jeff, what's your next category?
Next category we have is best cameo. And I'll say it's not a cameo, but Winona Ryder's very good in this too.
Okay.
To go back to Winona Ryder as Rena, she only has like a few scenes, but I think she's very natural, and she is fantastic. But then you got to mention Jeremy Piven as well.
That was my pick.
Is like got 2 scenes, and he's being very Jeremy Piven, and you can see that receding hairline going even back then before the Ari Gold transplant. And this was I didn't know this movie was filmed in Chicago, but if it was Chicago back in the 80s, and Piven was there, usually with Cusack, but this was, I think, Piven's first movie, and he's funny, and he's plays Spike, one of the jocks.
Great
and
name.
He has a funny moment where he imitates the movie The Fly, where she goes, "Help me, help me, help me."
Jeremy Piven, who's actually, I think his mother is a big acting coach or teacher.
Yeah, I think that's where like Tim Robbins and Cusack and all them met in that
little group.
Yeah.
But he is really natural on camera. He just is.
I like Piven,
everything he's been in, he's really
PCU.
Good. Let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you to give me the 3. Like, you have to F, marry, kill these performances. Okay, which one do you want to? Are good for a one night? Will you want to be married to, and which one could you get rid of? Okay, so here are the 3 Piven performances where he plays the character of George in Seinfeld.
Okay,
a Larry Sanders Show, and then Ari Gold.
Okay, which one am I going to F?
Which one is like, oh, this is like when I say this is just fun. This is fun. This is fun, marry, kill. Which one are you gonna fun?
I'm gonna marry his character from Larry Sanders Show because I love Larry Sanders Show.
Such a great
show. And very good in it. Everybody's good on that show. And because I think I don't want to hang out with Ari too much, so I'll just F Ari.
You'll fun him. Well, fun.
I'll fun him. I'll fun the heck
fun
out
for
of
a
him.
day.
And then I'll kill who's
George.
the other one? Oh, yeah, kill his George. His George wasn't that great. It wasn't it was, I think anybody could have done what he did as George. She gave him a massage.
It was touching and rubbing.
Yeah.
So was it true? Because in the opening credits I had, it was credited as Winona Ryder. I read somewhere that she was originally Winona Horowitz.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too, but I don't think I've ever seen a version that didn't have her name. So I don't know when they would have switched or bothered to switch the credits on that, but maybe that's how she started. And right before it came out, she said, I got an idea.
Well, the version on Freebie.
Yeah. It's the only place you can stream it, by the way, folks. I had no idea. I thought I owned it on iTunes, and I would have maybe made another choice if I didn't realize that if I had realized it was so difficult to find. Freebie. I had to download Freebie and then watch it on Freebie. Worried the whole time ads were going to pop up. I didn't have ads. Did you have ads?
I didn't have ads.
Okay, I didn't either, but I thought for sure this is going to be like a Tubi or a thing where like it's going to,
because there's no sign in, there's no sign up.
No, it's really Freebie.
It's really Freebie.
Who's making money on Freebie, but it's not the crew from Lucas.
Yeah, very strange. So I have Piven. Piven's my cameo king. I really thought he was great.
That's more of a cameo than Winona Ryder.
Oh, Winona Ryder's awesome as well.
But she's
What's your next category? What's the next?
Great Scott.
Oh.
Favorite scene. And I'm torn.
Go ahead.
Because the most famous scene of this movie is the slow clap at the end.
Yes.
So as a scene by itself, I like it. As a scene for the movie as a whole, I do not like it. Because
originally he was supposed to walk away by himself, right?
It ended at the hospital.
Oh, it ended
and that scene is there where Maggie comes visit him at the hospital, and he realizes that was dumb what he did.
Right.
And he asks, we'll get to it, but it's one of my favorite lines where he asks when she comes in, did we win? And she says, no. And I think that line is the entire movie. He thinks even for a second, did we win? Did it work? And Maggie's like, no, you silly goose. You didn't win. You got your butt kicked. So that's Lucas to me. No.
Could the movie have ended right there at that line?
Yeah. No. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Bum, 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 ba, da, 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 da. So that's the way it originally ended. But test audiences are like, that's a bummer. So they went back 6 months later and filmed the slow clap scene where he walks to school, looks nervous, and they give him a Letterman jacket for playing one game and getting almost killed, where they picked on this kid for all his life. And then it took him going to the hospital, almost being dead, for them to go, hey, we might have gone too far. Do we have a jacket? Do we have a jacket lying around? It's going to be too big. Just put it in his locker. If he comes back, he'll get it. If he dies, then we'll get it out. So I think he was like hero for the day, but I think when we get to what happens after Lucas, I don't think it gets any better for Lucas after this. I think it's the reason why I think Lucas is sad and real. I don't think he's like now the hero of the school because he almost got killed being a fool in a game they didn't win and had no stakes. So I'll say that I like the scene, but then my other favorite scene would just be when he first goes out on the field to play in the game. He puts him in, the coach, who I think is great also, puts him in, and he won't put on his helmet. Lucas is standing there without his helmet. And I don't remember if I clocked it way back when I saw it, but I certainly watching it on Freebie, like, oh, you're going to get really hurt. You're not putting your helmet on. And so that became my favorite scene because I'm watching him not be victorious, and he has no right to be. And I'm glad the movie had the footballs to do that and not suddenly make him a hero all of a sudden when he had no business being out there in the first place. It was a bad idea, and he sold himself out for a girl trying to do something she would like, and he almost died for it.
But again,
Lucas.
Jeff, come on, man. Again,
This is also a 50-year-old person looking back going, you dumb,
look,
silly rabbit.
Jeff. Look,
And also, I have no heart anymore. I don't want people's affection or attention anymore.
you're a cynic. You're a bit of a cynic.
Big time.
Big cynic.
I'm like
Big
the coach
cynic.
now. I'm the coach. I would have put him in too. Go ahead. See what happens.
Look, I will tell
Why?
you this. I will tell you this. I appreciated Lucas not putting his helmet on. I appreciated it. You know what we call that in the sports world? We call that irrational confidence. You know, and sometimes
he is full of
you need
irrational confidence.
irrational confidence. Okay.
And then you need to almost die so you realize that shouldn't be something I do ever again. And he should wear a helmet for the rest of his life on the street.
Well, he almost needed to, right?
Yeah, he almost wore a casket.
Well, wasn't the rumor though that Corey Haim took the hit a little too hard?
Oh, I don't know. I hope so. No, I don't hope so. Maybe
I read that somewhere that he took the hit. He actually took the hit a little too hard.
He was a little guy.
He was a little guy.
And those pads were way too big. They weren't helping him.
But to me, the ultimate scene in this movie is the end of the film and the slow clap. Right? Because the slow clap is, I think, like the perfect visualization of communication, and we know exactly what they're saying without any words. Right? It's like, I appreciate you. Right? My famous phrase.
I'm sorry, we almost killed you.
We almost killed you.
Yeah,
you're a little bit tougher than I thought.
That was too much. We'll go easy on you for a little bit. Then we'll forget because it's high school. They're not going to be friends with them. It's kind of like the Breakfast Club at the end where they say, you know, are going to be, when Anthony Michael Hall asks, are we all going to be friends on Monday? And Molly Ringwald says, no, I don't think so. And no, they weren't friends after that in the Breakfast Club. They might have, like, for a couple of weeks looked at each other and kind of gave a, what's up?
Like a hee-haw? Like a
but, yeah, maybe. But that's high school, man. Those clicks are strong. You don't break them.
Here's my thing. How have you ever seen, Jeff? This is my question. Have you ever seen a show or a film series called Jackass?
Yes.
Right. And I never thought that I would actually say the sentence that I'm about to say, but I learned a great life lesson in Jackass.
Okay.
Which is, if you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. Right? If you're gonna be dumb,
I agree with that.
You gotta be tough.
Yeah.
If you get knocked down, you better get back up. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I know enough that if you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
The problem is Lucas is dumb. Actually, not dumb, but he did a dumb thing.
He did,
and he's not tough. But he should have known he's not tough. This is one of those movies where I don't mind that the high schoolers look like they're 30. I think that's actually very appropriate because it's kind of like
Grease.
No, they really were like in their 40s. Yeah. But to me, it feels like, as I watched it again, this must be what it looks like to him through Lucas's eyes. That they all look like they're old enough to rent a car.
Oh, that's 25 years. That's a fun artistic choice, though.
Sure.
Like if that was
even though Charlie Sheen is miscast.
Well, we'll get to Chuck. Well, okay. What's our next category? Because mine's the slow clap, by the way. Mine is the slow clap.
Best shot fired, which is just a scene or a shot you like. There's not a lot in here. There's not a lot of cinematography, but there's a cool night scene on the road. Oh yeah, okay. That's true. It shows like the high grass or all that. And I think when they find the bug after the movie and they're looking at it through the headlights on the road, it's kind of cool. I like those night headlight kind of movies. And that's good.
Yeah, not a lot of it's not known for its cinematic flair as Lucas.
No, just not that kind of movie. That'd be weird if all of a sudden, you know, big old crane came down and showed him dead on the football field.
So what do we have next?
Dialogue, baby. Best line o dialogue.
Okay, go
ahead.
Was it I'm looking through my notes here. If you're so depressed, why are you eating pizza?
Yeah, so Chuck Sheen comes over to hang out instead of going to the dance. Oh, that's a good shot too. When freaking Lucas is in his bad tux and his hair's all effed up and he's riding his bike all excited on the way to Maggie's house, and it's not going the way he wants. It's like, I remember, okay, this may be the only memory I have of it, watching it as a kid, watching it with my mom. And when it cut to him excited on the bike, I remember her going, "Oh no," because she knew this is not going to go well for you. And it makes sense. Very not a positive person, my mom. So she probably said, "Oh no," to a lot of things I did too. But she went, "Oh no, why would he be optimistic?" It makes a lot of sense now that you hear that story. So that could be a good shot. But yes, so he's like, "Hey, I don't want to go to the dance. Courtney Thorne Smith broke up with me for the girl from Goonies, and we're not going to go to the dance, but we were thinking about maybe going to get some pizza. Why don't you come with us?" And he says, "Yeah, pizza? If you're so depressed, why are you getting pizza?"
How come I did not put it together until just now?
That's Cary Green of Goonies?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Andy. What are you
Andy,
doing at the
Andy
bottom
Carmichael.
of a well?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's her.
See, I liked her in the Goonies. I was a fan. I
85, and then the next year, Lucas, and then
but she had a Feldman Anaheim.
Yeah, that's true. She went Feldman first, and then she rejected them both.
She did. She did.
Although she really rejected Sean Astin in Goonies. It was Martha Plimpton that rejected Mouth.
True. That's true. His name's Mouth. You know, it's kind of disgusting. You can't really pick up a girl with that name.
I have a Michael Jackson joke, but we've done too much of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But guess which kid Michael Jackson wanted to meet on the set of the Goonies?
Oh,
it wasn't Chunk.
Chunk? It wasn't Chunk?
No, it wasn't Chunk, wasn't Brand. It sure wasn't Steph.
Was it Hey You Guys?
It was Sloth.
Sloth.
Yeah, it was Sloth. He wanted to meet Sloth and the Fratellis.
Yeah, he was a big fan.
He wanted to meet Joey Pants. Anyway, I know. So for my favorite line of dialogue, it goes back to my appreciation of the fact that this movie had the marching band in it. And this is when Lucas is giving Maggie grief about wanting to be a cheerleader because it's superficial and that's not what she should be about. And she says, because he thinks that going to football games and all that is a waste of time. And Maggie says, "Well, you're the band, aren't you?" And Lucas says, "Yeah." And she goes, So the band goes to the football games, and Lucas says, "Well, totally different. Why? Because the band does not have fun there." And she says, "So why do you do it?" He goes, "I don't know." And I can relate to that from having to play at the high school football games. It is not fun for the band to be there. So, or at least it wasn't for me. So that I thought was a very honest look at what the only people that are miserable at the football game in high school, not the players because they're having fun, not the parents because they're watching their kids, and anybody else that's there is doing it voluntarily. The only people that are there not on their own free will is the marching band. Especially a bad marching band like ours was.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I heard they had a good. What'd you say? Clarinet,
trumpet.
And
that's not true. There were only 3 of us, and I was third trumpet, and that was fine with me because it was the easiest part. And every once in a while, the director, when he'd get mad, he'd make us try out, like right there in the practice. Go, you play this, you play this, you play this. And if you played it better than the one that sat ahead of you, they'd go, "You're first chair now." And once I accidentally played "Get Back" by the Beatles better than the girl who was first trumpet because she had never heard the song before, and I knew it. So I didn't do it from reading the music. I just knew it because I knew the song as far as the rhythm and everything. And all of a sudden I was first chair. I'm like, well, this will not do. Because the notes are high and you kind of have to stand in front of everybody and make it a big deal. And I kind of wanted to blend. So next chance I got, I think I actually just come back. He'll forget he did this.
He'll forget.
So I went back to 3. Yeah. I was fine. I was fine with 3. So anyway, that's my line from Lucas. The band does not have fun at the football game. But also him asking, did we win at the end? And her saying, "No, you goose."
That's a good one too.
Is good too because that's the movie. Next up is the props. Tough Letterman jacket, I guess.
The oversized Letterman jacket.
Yeah.
Oversized
Anything
Letterman jacket.
yeah,
For sure.
not the hot cream.
No,
Not
no.
the hot cream that they put on poor Lucas's junk.
That's a very 80s moment too.
Very 80s moment, and also very 80s that they use the F word, the 3-letter F word, so flippantly.
Yes.
Like, oh, it's like Bill and Ted or Teen Wolf or any of those movies that you go, oh, we used to do that.
Yeah. It was one of those things.
Back when Redskins were a fine mascot for a football team.
Yeah. I mean, it's a product of its time. You know, you got to accept it as that.
So there's not really a lot of props in Lucas that make you go, I mean, I don't know. You want a bug? You want
I'll take this. I'll take the frames. You know what I mean? The eyeglasses, the specs.
Yeah, the broken ones at the end.
Yeah, of course. That'd be cool on the wall.
I'll take his lawnmower, his riding lawnmower in the house that's not his.
I like it.
Lucas, you liar. Plot hole.
Was there one? Like, was there an obvious plot hole?
They never would have let him play in that game. That's the only thing. I think as funny as I think that the football coach is like, go ahead, play. They knew he was gonna. Well, I think they let the poor little 90-pound kid go and thought, oh, he might trip or something, and then he almost died. So there's a lawsuit if his parents were really lawyers, which they're not, and if his dad came out of the trailer, which he doesn't.
I do think schools have immunity.
Oh, so for sports? I bet there was a waiver that the kids had to sign, but I bet Lucas didn't sign it.
It's true. They could have gone around the waiver. You never know. Yeah. Could have been a good lawsuit. Yeah, but other than that, I mean, that's more of a suspension of disbelief. Yeah. We got to allow our minds to think that
we'll allow movie things to happen.
Yeah, it's a big plot point.
I think it would have been more of a suspension of disbelief if like Maggie ended up with Lucas or Lucas ends up with anybody. That's the thing. Even as high school goes on, which is why I also think this movie's kind of sad, he's going to have to get over Maggie, because even if she breaks up with Cappy when she realizes he has no personality, then she's going to just go out with another one of those 30-year-old looking football players. It's never going to be Lucas. And he's going to, like, in 10 years, get invited to her wedding. And he's going to decide if he's going to go or not, because he's going to watch the girl he first loved go to. I'm not talking about anything that happened to me, but he's going to just watch her go down the aisle. And then he's going to say, you know, I can't do that. I'm not going. And then she ends up not having social media. So she has no idea where she ended up. And then he just lives life wondering where she went. Again, not me.
Not specific to you.
But Lucas 2.
Yeah, Luke 2. That's what we called it. That was the working title, Luke 2. Luke 2. What happened?
2, chapter 2, verse 2.
What was your I'm glad that we didn't have a prom scene in this movie, by the way.
No prom, no party.
No prom, no party. I was a big no prom guy, because I mean it was good. I mean, I went to the prom. Prom was cool, I guess. But you know,
do you think I went to the prom?
I'm gonna make a bet on this one that you.
I was I was the queen of the prom. I don't know. No, I did not go to the proms. So that's why I said at the beginning that this felt more like high school to me, because there wasn't a lot of social outside of school activity other than like going to friends' houses. That's what I did. I for extra credit made a movie version of Invisible Man. And that's what we did at after school. And guess who played all the parts? The kids in the marching band.
Well, they sound like they would.
Now I told them to, the nerds.
I mean, well, okay. Let me ask you this. So I already said that I went to the prom, so I went to a prom. Okay.
Yes.
But here's an interesting wrinkle. I asked out no one to the prom.
You just went.
No. I was asked out. But it was one of those things that was like a fail-safe. It was like a fail-safe situation. So it was like, hey, beginning of the year, this girl approached me and she said, hey, if we don't get dates to the prom, we'll go together. So I had an assumed date the whole year.
All year.
And so to me, I was like, wait a minute. I like this assumed date. I don't want to mess this up. I had a sure thing.
Yeah.
Is that
When Harry Met Sally? It's 80s. You had it when Harry Met Sally if we don't have a date for New Year's.
Right. I had a When Harry Met Sally.
Right.
Except
Now,
it didn't
did you
end the same.
like this girl too?
I did.
Okay.
I was a fan.
See,
I was a
I
fan.
had forgotten. You triggered something in me now. I also was asked to go by someone in the marching band.
Not a fan. You're not a fan.
I did not go. I hope I was nice. I don't remember.
Yeah, I hope you were nice too.
I hope I'm gonna
be
think
that guy.
I'm gonna think I was, because I think back then I was nice. So I mean, I've outgrown that completely, but I think at the time I would have come up with, "Oh, I'm working," because I was working in my senior year, so that I could have come up with something. I hope.
What was your job senior year?
I worked at Disneyland. I was speaking of
when you started.
mascots. Yeah, I worked at the character department at Disneyland. I started that when I was 17, my senior year.
And you were there a while.
I was there many summers.
Yeah.
For that summer job. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's our next category?
Let's go to what happens next. So next day.
The Marty stuff's got to be done about your kids award.
Yeah, Marty's got to be. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have your cool, clever names written down, but that's what it is. Marty, something's about to kids. What happens when the DeLorean leaves the driveway?
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of already alluded to the fact that I think it's all depression and sad, and you know, he goes back to his dirty life. At least he's got the cool kid with the video camera that runs around. That kid I like. That kid is kind of like confident. He's like, every 80s movie didn't need a fat kid. He's not that fat, but he orders a lot when he goes to the movie.
He does.
So that's as close as they get, but I like him, and he's kind of a little cynical too. And he mentions how I almost got away with an 80s movie without a reference to suicide, but no, they say the band director at their school killed himself for love in Lucas. So
there you
go. It's becoming less and less of a plot point as the movie goes on. It went from Better Off Dead, where that's the title, it went to Heathers, where that's the plot, and now it's just, and this guy's gone.
So here was my idea for what happened the next day. All right, he has this slow clap, right? We know how the movie ends, right? Lucas decides to wake up the next morning, and he says, "You know what? I want to continue my foray into the collection of crickets." He goes looking for crickets and exploring, and he notices this one cricket has a different color to it. It's like a different hue, different shade, right? It almost has like a little bit of a golden flake to it, and he's enamored by it. And so the cricket, though, escapes him, and it starts going down the cricket field, and it continues on and on. So he's chasing full speed. He's trying to get to the cricket. He's doing his best to catch the golden cricket. Then he ends up in a forest, in a field, and then he goes in, and then he sees the cricket goes into this tree. This tree is kind of glowing in this glittery cricket land, right? This cricket juicy tree, right? It's got gold flakes around it. So Lucas says, "I'm going to go in. I'm going to figure it out." He sees a little hole, a little crevice in the tree. He jumps in head first. He falls down. It's a huge pit. He falls to the bottom of this pit filled with golden crickets. And then one cricket is almost a humanoid, right? And he walks up to Lucas. Lucas is freaking out. And the cricket and Lucas touch fingers. Boom. Then Lucas gets this cricket power. And next thing you know, he becomes the superhero of the town, for he is Cricket Man. And that is where we
Juicy
pick up the second
cricket. And then the sequel, which we'll get to another category. Man. Yeah. Cricket Man.
Lucas 2, Cricket Man.
Okay. I had an idea for a sequel, but it wasn't that. So I don't even know if I'm going to say mine, because mine was like realistic. Not that this isn't. I mean, who knows? Anything can happen.
That's what happens the next day.
That's just the next day. Mm-hmm. Oh, see, that's much happier.
Of course.
I like it. And then will Maggie like him as Cricket Man, or does she like Cricket Man?
She likes Cricket Man.
But Lucas is like, yeah, F you, Maggie. You had your chance.
She likes
Cricket
Man.
Winona Ryder becomes like Lois Lane.
Exactly. Except then she falls into a ladybug tree, and she becomes Ladybug. And he's Cricket Man. And they got to figure it out. 2 arachnids, or whatever they're called. Insects.
I think you went too far, but I like it.
I could have stopped at the somewhat good part, but I wanted to keep
What
going.
If Winona Ryder became a spider, so she was an arachnid? It's like she would be a good spider, because she kind of looked like Lydia from Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Or maybe she becomes a beetle.
Maybe she becomes a beetle. She becomes a beetle.
And that's why Beetlejuice is attracted to her when she's too young, because the same species and the worlds collide.
Oh, look at that. That's how we bring two 80s franchises together, brother.
They're in the same universe, Marvel.
That's why we like Pic Six.
That's why we like it. Category? All right. This is now where we talk about, are these actors and or director in the peak of their powers?
This is my favorite
category. So take it away.
Okay, so Corey Haim, I'm going to say peak, no. Right? But close.
Yeah. Sure. Well, he's still got
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys is next. 87 is Lost Boys. And then that's probably his peak. After that is License to Drive. And after that is Dream a Little Dream. So those are still big movies, but we're just going to start. Actually, let's go. I was looking at the filmography and sweet baby Jesus. Okay. So after Dream a Little Dream, which is 89, he's in Prayer of the Roller Boys. Please, someone stop me when you get to a title, Fast Getaway. Dream Machine. Oh, What a Night. The 00 Kid, straight to video. Blown Away. No, not that Blown Away. That's a Jeff Bridges movie, and it's not that one. This is a TV movie. Just One of the Girls. Double Switch. Last Resort. Fast Getaway 2. Did you know there was a Dream a Little Dream 2?
No idea.
Jason Robards is not in that. Life 101. It's a sequel to Life. Demolition High. Never Too Late. Shooter on the Side. Busted. Apparently he played an uncredited biker gang member in Batman and Robin. Joel Schumacher made it.
I know that one.
So that's possible.
I know that one.
That's possible. That'd be tough to prove, but Joel Schumacher did Lost Boys, so we could have thrown him a bone. Snowboard Academy, Fever Lake, Demolition University, which I'm going to assume is a sequel to Demolition High. Yes, he graduated. PSI Factor, Chronicles of the Paranormal. Merlin, Wishmaster 2, Evil Never Dies, Big Wolf on Campus, Without Malice, The Backlot Murders. He has a cameo as himself in Dickie Roberts' former child star.
That movie I've seen.
Starring Spade. He has a cameo at the very end. I remember seeing this, Lost Boys, The Tribe, which is a direct-to-video sequel.
What? There's a Lost Boys sequel?
There's 2 sequels.
What? Okay. Did not know
Feldman and the other one, Jameson, I think it's his last name.
That's terrible.
Play the Frog Brothers again.
That's terrible.
Crank High Voltage.
I've seen that movie.
Okay. He plays
Jason
Randy.
Statham.
Yeah, he plays Randy. Shark City, Trade in the Hostage Game, New Terminal Hotel, Decisions, The Dead Sea. And the last one was called Universal Groove in 2024, which is long after he passed away. So I'm not sure how that happened. That must have been sitting on a shelf for a while. Yeah. How did that happen? There's got to be trivia on that one.
That's a tough one.
Filmed in 1989. Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's probably really good that they waited till 2024 for that to come out. 25
years. Peak of their powers definitely then the next year for Corey.
Yeah, absolutely. Winona Ryder, definitely not the peak of her power. She was just started. Chuck Sheen was later that year in Platoon.
Well, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen's a tough one to know, right? Because I feel like I don't know if Platoon's his peak.
No, I don't think that's his peak either. But I'm saying he took a pretty good jump. And at the same time he was doing Lucas is when he filmed his one scene in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which I think he's very well cast for. That is the movie he should have done in 86. And he's good at Platoon as well. But yeah, then he kind of, he's Wall Street and then like Hot Shots, and I think he did
8 Men Out. He did Young Guns.
Yeah,
he did Major League.
Ooh, Major League. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. So movie peak way coming, and then I would guess that 2.5 Men is like TV peak.
I almost wonder if so what's more peak? Like that run of like, I'm gonna say from Ferris Bueller's to Money Talks. All the movies he did in that. Is that a bigger peak, or is 2.5 Men a bigger peak?
I think more people probably watch. I did not watch 2.5 Men, so I don't. I just know that he was paid a lot. So, and it was a very popular show, so a lot of people watched it. So I think he was very well seen then. But in the 90s, he was doing, even like Three Musketeers with Tim Curry of Clue. He was in the Scary Movies in the 2000s. And he was on Spin City. He replaced Michael J.
Fox. I would say I think that his peak is 2.5 Men because then all the craziness happened, and then he was even kind of more famous at that point for the craziness.
Yeah.
Peak of his powers, though, I think it's 2.5 Men. I really do. It's hard though. It's hard with him. He's a tough one. Winona Ryder, definitely not. Gary Cole was in this movie for a moment, so definitely not.
No.
Jeremy Piven, definitely not.
Courtney Thorne-Smith, no.
No, she had 90210 coming up. I mean, Melrose Place, rather.
Yeah, the only established actor was Haim, really, and he was still on his way up.
Yeah.
And then the director and the writer, David Seltzer, he had written The Omen before this. So that's great. And then he was the writer and director of Punchline, which I think is an underrated Tom Hanks.
Oh, right. It's the stand-up
comedy movie. Damon Wayans is in that. Yeah, that's the weird one where Tom Hanks and Sally Field kind of have a weird romance. John Goodman is in that, and then she plays his mom in Gump. And he also did
Bird on a Wire. He wrote Bird on a Wire. I like that movie.
And he did Shining Through, which was a Michael Douglas, Melanie Griffith movie.
Did not see that one.
Where I think Melanie Griffith showed the goods.
Okay. There you
go. Everybody. Hey, everybody.
Well, let's wrap up our last couple categories here. I'm getting buzzed for my assistance is needed somewhere else, but let's continue.
Well, is this true?
I saw that John Cusack was originally supposed to be the Chuck Sheen role.
I don't see that either, but
better or worse?
He looked like a football player.
He didn't.
So I'm going to say worse, but Charlie Sheen, he bothered me in it maybe because I thought, why is Andy from Goonies going after Chuck Sheen? He's not appealing. He takes his shirt off when she's got to wash his shirt because he doesn't know how to use a blender. And she's like, all impressed with him. He's not that great. Anyway. So your idea for the sequel is the Cricket Man movie. I came up with like a very weird idea where it's like a high school reunion way down the road. But the question was, do you recast Lucas? Can't do it without Haim. So I say, I do not. So it's 30 years later. So it's in the early 2000s because actually Lucas came out in March 86. 28th, I think, of March. So we're like right in the
wheelhouse.
The 40-year anniversary. So we'll make it. I don't know if anybody goes to a 40-year high school reunion. So we'll do 30. And actually, Lucas had become like a famous Bill Nye the Science Guy type host on TV, and then later to transition to the internet. And he ended up meeting this younger than him documentary maker who wanted to make a documentary about his life. And he told her all these incredible stories that she didn't know if they were true or not. And then they even kind of got romantic. And then he died of cancer, not leukopenia, but a different kind of cancer. So when she knows that his reunion is coming up, she takes that as the opportunity. She wants to, after she's done mourning, she's going to go back and finish her documentary, but she wants to go back and meet all these people that he went to high school with to find out what is true. There's no way there was this football game. There's no way that all this happened. And there's no way that he kind of at times dismisses it like it was a joke. They felt bad for me. They didn't really care about me. They gave me the jacket as a joke. And when she goes back, she finds out that no, they really did admire him. And actually, the Winona Ryder character has become a writer, and she writes a series of very popular books that are kind of like Harry Potter. But the character that's the Harry Potter character is based on Lucas. And she finds out that, this crazy sorcerer bug guy is what meant, because they never got together. So that's kind of how she describes how great he was. And she finds out that he was a big deal. And also his friend Ben has all those VHS tapes because he walked around filming everything. So that all gets used as well in the documentary, and it becomes slow clap.
I like yours better. I like yours better. I like yours better than the Cricket Man. Although I went out on a limb. I went out on a limb.
Yeah, I was boring and like, what could it really be? And I don't know. I actually like it too. And I thought, well, this doesn't have to be a sequel to Lucas. I could just write this about it.
You could write that. That's actually a good one. That's actually a really good. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's a good plot line. See, look at you. Look at you. You should be a screenwriter. I think
you should be a screenwriter.
Has that do we I think we have one more category, or is that it?
We have a few. That's how it could have happened, but how about this? Is our category where we say, like, if instead of it ending this way, Lucas dies. He dies on the field.
Oh, that would be.
That's the only other.
That's really the only other thing.
Yeah. And then they all feel really, really bad.
Okay, I like it.
And they slow clap at the funeral.
Yeah, have to.
Still do the slow clap. I don't know if you still want to do this category. You mentioned it once before. The best racehorse name.
Oh man, depressed pizza.
Depressed pizza. That's good. Leukoplakia is good.
That's a good one.
Or even Party Animal, because he does have a line where he says, she asks if he's still going to go to the dance. And he says, hey, I'm a party animal. So he goes to the dance, but we don't see it, right?
We don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Party Animal's good. I like Party Animal.
Right. If you were to replace any of these characters with a Tim Meadows, Tim Curry, Tim Chalamet, Tim Robbins.
Does Tim Chalamet seem too on the nose for Lucas?
To play Lucas? Nah, he could be the indie Lucas.
Yeah. Like the artsy Lucas.
Yeah, that's what I came up with.
Like he's collecting vinyls instead of crickets. You know?
Yeah. If there was a song based on this movie, it could be called The Band Does Not Have Fun There. Or You Can't Ever Make Me Quit. Never.
Oh, okay. Well, I will say, I recommend Lucas. I enjoyed this movie. It was. I
think you ended up liking it more than I did watching it again. I know I sound like I'm angry at it, but I think it's because I had the feels and I felt a lot.
It put you back in a
watching it again. So I don't know if I like Lucas the movie. I do like the movie. I think it's very brave for being very different, and I don't think it'd be made now because you'd be like, yeah, who's this main character? Who cares about him?
Well, two things before we call, because I'm going to get to my opinion here, but I just have a quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
David Seltzer, is it impossible for him to order seltzer and not get a salsa?
David Salsa.
Is it David Salsa?
That's his name when he goes to Mexico.
He's David Salsa.
They know him as David Salsa.
Yeah.
David.
Okay. Are you ready for my pick for you?
Oh yeah. So now it is your turn to give me the movie I have to watch. Is it one word title?
No.
Does it start with an L?
No.
All right. I'm not interested.
So you're gonna hate me for this because we've discussed it before. And I was like, oh, okay, we could do this. And then I thought, you know what actually is a little bit more evil is to do this way. And that's why for my
I'd like to point out, folks, real quick, I try to give Brad movies that I think he's going to like.
I think you'll like this movie. It's one of my favorite movies.
This is from the man who gave us Blue Crush.
Yes. Is it called Blue Crush?
Is it Blue Crush? No, Into the Blue.
No, Into the Blue.
What's Blue Crush?
Blue Crush is another
movie, right?
Yeah, it's a shark movie. I think she gets her leg bitten off or something.
Bikini movie, I think. Poster. Similar.
I don't know if that's true. But
I think it's this
one. It's a bit of a. Oh, you're gonna hate me, but I have to do it. Your next pick is Rush Hour 2.
Oh.
Which means I think you're gonna have to watch Rush Hour
first. I do. You've done
Rush
two
Hour
picks.
2 is the one I want to talk about.
That's the real
pick. Talk about Rush Hour 2.
You see, you've outsmarted the system. That'd be like if I said you've never seen any of the Fast and Furious, and I say Fast X,
and I got to watch them all.
Go. Halloween 6.
But this is just one 90-minute movie before the sequel, which is also 90 minutes. So, yeah, look, I'm not giving you a 2.5 hour.
All right. Rush, I had a feeling.
Wait, that is our next pick here on Pick Six. Try to get to it earlier than we did this one. For the General Jeff Smith, my name is the boat Brad Gilmore. This has been the Pick Six podcast, and we'll see you for Rush Hour 2.